Roddy Ricch dropping one of the most popular songs of the last couple of years with the box, and just a rising star in the rap world. Just want to say real quick, the box has over 1,380,000,000 spins on Spotify.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Number
The
one
guy
for
does
11
numbers.
weeks in 2020. Big, big track, which minted
Yeeter.
Roddy as a star right away. That was his first album, but yeah, he became a commercial force off that, as you can imagine. Won a Grammy with Racks in the Middle, the Nipsey song, and yeah, just kind of arrived on the scene, December 2019 till now. So it's only been 2 years really since that album came out, and obviously the box went so long in 2020 that it hasn't really been that long for the next, Roddy project. And here we have it with Live Life Fast, album two. Not something I was really anticipating or really thinking about, I guess, because it hadn't been that long. He only announced it a few weeks ago, but here it is.
Before we jump into Live Life Fast, going back to Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, just give me your quick TLDR review.
Yeah, I'd say it was just a distillation of what Roddy had been doing on those mixtapes, the early hits like Die Young, where he has a real knack for making melodic hip hop that's really popular and in vogue these days. And obviously, something like The Box, which just has a really catchy earworm, nature to it, stands out. But there were other songs I liked on that too, like War Baby. His use of background choir really stood out to me, and some of his slower songs like uh, forget the names, but there's some of those slower songs also kind of became hits for him, much more like almost R&B in a sense, and you could tell that he had more emotional lyrics he could get into. It wasn't like he was just trapping or anything. High fashion, that's what I'm thinking of for the slower tracks, and yeah, just a talented guy. And I thought the album was pretty good, and overall just a good showcase of Roddy's abilities while also obviously catapulting him right away.
So now we have Live Life Fast. Um, if you're listening to this, this is your first time listening for like any sort of critical opinion. You may be coming in thinking this guy's a star. He's a rising star. He's probably just going to continue building on that. Do you feel like he did that on Live Life Fast?
No, I'd say Roddy was thinking outside the box with this one. Emphasis on the eater from the box. Sophomore slump, man. I didn't hear too much I liked on this, which is unfortunate, just because he has a ability to make a hit, but I didn't hear any hits.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan going in, and I'm going to say I don't dislike him actively. I just was not a big listener. I think I knew some of the hits, the box. High Fashion was one that I went back and listened to. I was like, oh, I remember this one from the Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial.
Right.
Listening through this the first time, I was just kind of struck by like I didn't really find the lyrics on this to be that good, almost like cringy at times. And I didn't I didn't feel like anything the couple times I jumped around after listening the first time, nothing really popped for me. And it just I was wondering like what happened here? Like it just feels so confusing. It feels like a real step back for him.
Yeah, it does. And yeah, I agree with the lyrics. A song like Man Made stood out to me for its lyrics, where, misogynistic lyrics are what they are in hip hop. You hear them pretty frequently, but I thought it was pretty dumb how he was going about them on that song. I was just like, this is just kind of nonsense what you're saying here. And he's not a mumble rapper. He is rapping. He is putting his words together, but it just doesn't really make any sense. And lyrically towards the end of this, he does nod to, the street life being difficult in Compton, but and having like some gangs in and around his life at the time, and like I just don't think those songs or those beats like did enough to really try and have you latch on to that story. And most of the time, he's not actually telling that story at all. It's just kind of I don't even want to call them party tracks because they're not shit I would bump. They don't like sound that great. It's just like a song like Thailand is like, yeah, this is just kind of a big nothing, lyrically for sure. And like, I mean, he's had great success with DJ Mustard, with High Fashion, and Ballin' as well. Two very different songs, but like I didn't love the beat selection on this, and like his lyrics, his performance in general, I think just kind of fades into the background. I guess the All Good flow he used, the flow he used on All Good with Future, I thought that was like his best performance, but still like not a song I loved or anything. So I just didn't hear any keepers on par with his past hits. And again, he's had a lot of hits in a short amount of time, but I just don't hear any more right now. Like this is just kind of a miss. I imagine he wants to follow this up pretty quickly because I saw kind of universal dislike for this project online over the weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned all good with Future, and while I agree, I think it sounded okay. Just with tuning into some of the lyrics, going back to what you were saying about, I forgot which song you were just referring to. I apologize. Um, I I just felt like a lot of it didn't make sense, and a lot of the
Yeah.
like wordplay was just kind of childish and not really that advanced. So, um, there were a couple of tracks I thought sounded okay, but again, like I think when you're listening to Roddy Ricch, you're not listening to see for him to be like, oh, that song was solid. You're listening for a real banger, something that's
Yeah.
gonna
Something
pop.
catchy.
Yeah, and I don't think any of these songs sounded super catchy. He had a lot of features on this. We mentioned Future, 21 Savage, Kodak Black, Takeoff, Ty Dollar Sign, 5EO, Gunna doing another song with him. Jamie Foxx shows up on this. Any of those that you liked?
I thought Takeoff was pretty solid. And 21 is always memorable. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, nothing wowed me with the features either.
I know. I even found 21's verse to be maybe the first one I just like didn't like in a long time. I was like, this
Yeah.
project is not hitting for me.
Really good meme. It was a bunch of garbage bags, black garbage bags together, and then a garbage bag with the color gold on top of them, and it was like 21's feature on the
Oh
Roddy
no.
album.
Oh jeez.
I don't know if I want to
Uh,
call it trash, but yeah, I mean we've heard some better 21 features lately.
and we're definitely going to hear better Roddy in the future. With it being announced just a few weeks ago, maybe this is something he just like wanted to get out. It's also not a time of year
Mhm.
where people are getting a lot of like attention, so maybe he just wanted to like get this out and move on to
Maybe a
something
label
bigger.
requirement had to release that second album by the end of 2021, so he said, "Fuck it, who knows."
Yeah. So we would recommend skipping this one if you're not a huge Roddy fan.